Hi, I'm Robert from Gold Point Props. In this video, I'll be showing you how I made the Red Hood helmet from the DC Comics. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Sharing our videos really helps us out. Thanks for watching. I started by tracing the patterns out on 18 gauge sheet metal. Now I'm cutting out the shape. This piece will make up the center of the mask. Here I'm using a hammer and wooden stump to give the piece a compound curve. The reason for the compound curve is so it fits the nose while wearing the helmet. Once I got it to the shape I liked, I then trimmed the excess metal. Now moving on to the top part of the helmet. Again, I'm using a hammer and wooden stump to give it a compound curve, and I used the English wheel to smooth out the hammer marks. I repeat this process until I reach the desired shape. Here I'm using a hammer and chisel to add the eyebrow shape into the metal. Then I used the pick side of the hammer to flatter out the eyebrow. Once I had the two pieces done, I then tack welded them together. Now I'm measuring the eyes to make sure they're even. Now moving on to the side of the helmet. After trimming the excess metal away, I then drew on some detail. This detail will make up the temple area of the helmet. Now I'm using a hammer and rubber pad to hammer in the shape. The reason for the rubber pad is the rubber gives a little more than the wood. Here I'm using a round anvil and a plenishing hammer to smooth out the hammer marks. I then used a similar process on the top side of the piece. This is so the compound curve will follow through onto the side of the helmet. Once I had both sides shaped, I then temporarily tacked them into place. I'm using bridges so they can be cut away at a later time. Now I'm moving on to the eye holes. Once I had the piece cut out, I then used a sheet metal brake to bend the piece, giving it a little depth. Now that I got the shape I like, I then welded a flat plate onto the backside. This will allow the lens something to attach to. Then I welded in the eye holes. Once it was all welded, Then I ground the weld smooth. Next, I'm bending round stock into shape to fill in the back side of the gapped pieces. I'm using round stock so I can get a tight fit. Now that the round stock is welded into place, I then cut away the temporary bridges. I then used a shrinker and hammer to shape the chin piece. Now I'm welding in flat plates on the backside to finish off the gapped pieces of the mask. Once all the metal finishing was done, I then painted it with a transparent automotive candy red paint.